Hi guys. As promised, I'm going to do a little 20-minute routine for you. We'll look quite a bit at hamstrings on this. So we're going to do a bit of stretching and some Pilates exercises. Remember to engage your TVA and your pelvic floor throughout, and just control everything with your breath. So we're in no rush. Okay, so it's a 20-minute. You don't need anything other than your mat. Okay, so let's just start off by laying down. All right, and we'll just find those hamstrings. So with the hamstrings, okay, there's 3 of them. They run at the back of the leg. So just take that right knee into your chest. Okay, just pump it in, just pull it in enough to feel the hip, and then extend that leg up. Okay, and we'll do that again. So we're just going to feel a little bit of muscle connection, a little bit of tension maybe in the hamstrings. Don't force anything. Okay, so again, so we're working through the hip and the hamstrings. So the hamstrings attach onto this sit bone. So if you can think about just trying to straighten the leg out, and if you struggle and your hamstrings are tight, think about squeezing through your quads. Okay, and also the heel. So you want to push the heel up and think about that length. Excuse me. Okay, so we've got that. We'll just do one more, then we'll just hold it. Okay, so just hold that leg. And again, think about the heel. So try and push the heel up. Be very mindful though if you do get sciatica, okay? This could really aggravate it. So if that is you, just soften the leg, just take a little bit of tension off and maybe lower the leg as well down here, okay? So a little bit of common sense, okay? So breathe. Now when you're focusing on that hamstring, try and relax your shoulders, try and relax the jaw, because sometimes we can hold tension elsewhere when it gets a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, and we'll release it. So let's just do the other side. Okay, so as I said, we're just finding the hamstrings first. So hug the knee in, straighten that leg. Okay, so this is something called also something called flossing the nerve. So you're just starting to stimulate that sciatic nerve. Okay, and again, think about squeezing into the front of the leg. Incidentally, I haven't mentioned the back. Just relax the back. Let the floor just support your back. You don't need to push your lower back into the floor. We're not tilting the pelvis. So just keep the floor and the back just connected. All right, shoulders relaxed. Okay. All right, we'll do one more, we'll hold it. So I'm just going to hold that one. You can work on just flexing the ankle, pushing the heel up a little bit more. Okay, and again, just try and relax everything else. Focus on that breath. Okay, and release it. Okay, cool. So now just do a few pelvic tilts. So we want to get the feet and hips all nice and lined up. Okay, nice and parallel. Okay, we're going to push your lower back into the floor just to feel the stomach muscles engage, and then you can lift. Okay, so that's when we got that gap underneath us. Okay, so I want you to push down and lift. So we exhale, we inhale. Exhale down, inhale. Okay, so this tilt, we can feel the lower back moving around. So ultimately, when we get into some exercises in a second, we want to have that neutral spine. Okay, we don't want to be lifting off the legs with a great big arch under our back. If you want to, you could push down if you felt safer, if you felt that supported your back more, you could have your lower back down, but definitely not up. But ideally, somewhere in between, okay? So if we find somewhere in between that, and then we can lift the pelvic floor, pull the TBA in, so everything just feels like it snugs in a little bit tighter, then I want you to just lift one leg up, okay? So it should float up. So when the other leg comes up, it floats up, okay? So I'm just going to go through a few of these with you, okay? So it's a case of lift, float, down, down, lift, lift, down, down. Notice how nothing else moves, okay? Because you're engaged around your middle, so everything's nice and tight, okay? We'll just do a couple more here. Now we're going to keep the legs up on this one, so we're just going to hold the legs up. Okay, so find your hamstrings again. So we're going to do that by extending the legs. So feel that in both legs. Maybe one feels tighter than the other. So you can push your heels away, you can circle around your ankles, and the back is nice and supported on the floor. Okay, so we're going to work on some scissors. You might want to keep your head down. Okay, and you would, if that was the case, you would just lower one leg, but keep pulling onto one so you've got that stretch in that leg there. Okay, if you want to make it a little harder, okay, we're going to lift up, find your scoop, and then we switch, okay, and just switch and switch. Okay, just focus on your breath. Keep your chin tucked towards your chest. Look forward. Try not to look up at the ceiling. Okay, so we'll go for another 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then bring it all down and just hug your knees in. Okay, you might want to have a little rock on the back. So if you feel like you're holding tension there, just get rid of that. Okay, good. So now let's go into a bit more stretching through the hamstrings. Okay, so either roll onto your side or rock up depending on your back. So if you've got bad back, osteoporosis, anything like that, it's just safer just to come over onto your side. Otherwise, you can have a little bit of momentum and you come up. Okay, so I'm going to swing myself round. Okay, so 4-point kneeling. So we're going to go into a few cat and cows. All right, tailbone tucks under, tailbone is very, very similar to your pelvic tilts that we were just doing on the mat. Okay, and I want you to just roll it all up, high kneeling. Okay, pad your knees out. So if you've got sensitive knees, you can put your head cushion under your knee, or you can put a towel. Okay, so take your right leg out, and I want you to slide that leg away from you. Okay, so the hamstring again. So we want to push the attachment back. So that's that sit bone. So hinge forward, push the sit bone back, and just hold that. Just feel that stretch in that hamstring. Okay, you can have the toes pulling up towards you. You can just relax the ankle if that feels a bit too much. Either way, just feel that stretch. If that was felt really tight, you could soften the knee. Okay, you could still pull the sit bone back with the leg bent and get a good, pretty decent stretch. Okay, so up to you. Just take a few nice big breaths into that. Okay, keep that chest lifted. So, I mean, even though my back is rounded a little bit, I'm not completely in neutral. I don't want you to just completely collapse. So just try and keep some sort of mindfulness, really, to your posture. Okay, and then we're just going to pivot round. So I'm literally just going to turn myself round. So I pivoted. Ooh, yeah, looks a bit weird. Okay, right. So now I'm just going to push my hips back, and I can feel that shift into my inner thigh, my adductors. So just come out of it and pull back. Okay, so again, just in and out. Okay, good. Just a couple more of these. And again, just try and keep mindful that my back is in neutral now, okay? You probably can't see particularly well, but my back is nice and lengthened. I'm not rounded and I'm not lifted. Okay, I'm going to go back to where I came from. So I'm just going to pivot myself back round. Feel that in my hamstring again. Okay, and then I'm just going to come up to standing, all right? So to bend that leg, kind of launch yourself off that back foot. And then I want you to just hold it in your forward fold. So your forward fold, just check that your feet are parallel. You could soften the knees again. So if it's pulling anywhere, you can soften. You still want to lift this part up. Okay, and try and let your head relax. Try and make sure you're not holding tension. And just focus on the back of your legs right now. Okay, good. So I'm going to get you to come back down to your 4-point kneeling. Okay, so for the sake of the video here, I'm just going to literally turn myself around. You stay where you are. Okay, so you're in your 4-point kneeling. Okay, so we can go back into our cat and cows again. So tailbone lifts, it tucks. Remember when you go into your cat, you're looking for the scoop, all right? You're always looking for the muscle to pull up. All right, I'm going to roll it up to high kneeling, coming out with that left leg. Okay, and I want you to just hinge into it. Another useful thing, if you have, if you feel like that's hard and you can't quite touch the floor, get some big books or something that just sort of like raises the floor up to your lap. A yoga block, but I know you don't have all your yoga blocks. Books will be fine. Okay, you can always just raise it up. Okay. So again, just just play around with it. Okay, so you've got that stretch. I'm going to pivot it around. Okay, the stretch now shifts into the inner thigh. Okay, from here, you're just going to have your hinge, your hip hinge. So your hip hinge, you're just kind of going forward and coming back, keeping your neutral. So as you do that, you'll feel that little bit of a pull, little bit of a stretch in that inner thigh. Okay, good. All right, just a couple more. And then you can come back to 4-point kneeling. So I'll just turn around. Okay, so back into that 4-point kneeling here. Okay, so take one leg out, push the heel back. Just enough that you can feel that again in the back of the leg. You're in your neutral, stomach muscles are pulled in. Okay, now keep the neutral, lift the leg. Okay, down, lift, down, lift. I want you to squeeze into your glute when you lift. Okay, so just keep the stillness to the back. So what I don't want is I don't want you sort of like, dipping. So stop any dipping, just focus on the arms, nice and strong, pushing the floor away. Okay, and squeeze into that bum. All right, good. Now, you're going to keep using your butt, hold the leg up, bend the leg. So when we bend the leg, that contracts and shortens the hamstring. So just push it up, down, up and down. And again, keep it nice and still. So as you go, I don't want you to sort of do like a little push to the floor with your chest or anything like that. Just focus on the glute. Keep that spine in your neutral. Okay, keep squeezing through your butt. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're going to stretch the glutes. So put your feet together, sit down into child's pose, reach out, make it active. So none of this, okay? Straight arms. Okay, we'll come around to do the other side. So back in. You might want to do a couple of cat cows. Find your neutral, slide the other leg back. Push. Okay, good. And then from there, it's that lift. Okay, and then lower, lift, lower, lift. Okay, good. Just make sure you're not pulling from your back or anything like that. So there's no movement coming from the back. Squeezing into your bum. Okay, good. Now we're going to hold it up. So we're going to shorten the hamstring, and then it's that lift. Up and down. Up and down. Good. Okay, last 3 here. 2, 1. Again, toes together, knees can be wider. Sit back, you've got your child's pose. Okay, so we're staying now with the hamstrings, with the down dog. So with the down dog, just focus on, try and keep some length to the spine. So I always prefer to do a down dog, like from a, you're looking for more for the cat shape, as opposed to down dog being all rounded like that. Okay, so go into your lift. Okay, did I say cat? I meant cow. Anyway, so the lift. All right, toes tuck under. Lift your hips. And keep your knees bent, but just push your sit bones, our attachment point back. Then work on straightening just one leg. Okay. So feel that in the back of that leg again. I'm going to bend that leg, ease off, and I'm going to straighten the other one. Okay, now walk your hands and feet towards one another. You'll be back into that forward fold that we were doing earlier. So you can just focus on that stretch in the back of the legs. Okay, you can soften the knees if you like to. Now we're just going to add a little bit of a twist to this. So I want you to bring your elbow up. So bring your elbow up and twist and look at it. Okay, and then switch. So your elbow comes up, twist your body, turn and look at it. Okay, now just keep switching from side to side. Try not to just throw your arm up into the air. That's why I like doing it with my elbow. Okay, so as you're going up with the elbow, you're turning your torso. Okay, you're turning the upper back into a nice twist. We'll just do a couple more. Okay, and I want you to roll up. So roll up nice and slowly. You can soften your knees. And up we come. Okay, we'll come back down again. So roll down. All right, just find that stretch again. It's quite nice just to hang sometimes. Anyway, we're moving on. So we're going to come down. All right, into your 4-point kneeling. Into your cat and your cows. Okay, and then if you can, we're going to just cross the ankles and sit yourself back. Okay, so when we get back here, we're going to straighten out those legs. So ideally, sit up nice and tall. If you feel that you want to sit on a block, you can. None of this, okay? So we don't want to be slouching. Be very mindful of activating your core to lengthen. So it's a little bit of a hinge on the hip, okay? So we're going to do our saw. So I want you to always come back to lifting when you do saw. Okay, we're going to open the legs. So I'm just going to turn around a little bit here. So you can have the legs a little bit wider. You can have them bent. You might be sat on a book or a cushion or something. But remember that length. Okay, so lift your arms up. Take a nice big breath in. Okay, and then we're going to rotate. So there's that twist again in the torso, and it's a reach. Reach forward, lift up, and up we go. Now, What I want you to watch on this is that you don't sort of like twiddle on your hips. Just keep your legs still, keep your hips nice and still. Okay, so it's that twist, reach, lift, and reach. Lift, we'll just do 4 more. Okay, don't move the legs, don't move your hips. And bring the arms down. Okay, bring those legs back into where they were. We'll do a little spine stretch, so I'll do it from this way, just so you can see. Okay, when you do your spine stretch, you're always starting off in that capital L. Okay, and you're reaching forward and you're looking for this C curve in your spine. So we're pulling the belly in, just like a cat. Okay, and then once you've done that, sit up nice and tall. Okay, so around the back, scoop the belly and lift. Okay, a couple more. Okay, good. This one. All right, and release it. So now you can come into a seated position. Okay, and there you go. So just roll out the shoulders. If there was anything that you liked in that, please go back to it. It was just a short little video getting the hamstrings and targeted and some other little bits and pieces for you. So I hope you enjoyed that. Come back to it as many times as you want. Yeah. Good luck.